Welcome back, friends. It's Anders. Today I am talking budget bottles for your bar. A while back I did a video on the essential bottles to have behind your bar, and I put a lot of thought into it, and I thought this is gonna be great, and it was received really well. But I did receive a lot of questions that has taken me a long time to think about. One of the questions was, how do I build this bar if I have a really limited budget? Which is a very appropriate question. As we all know, building up a bar from scratch can get rather expensive rather quickly. So I've decided to compile a list of bottles that I would buy at a budget, on a budget, to build up my bar from nothing. Now, I'm doing this in two tiers. So I'm doing a $100 tier and then a $200 tier. And I would like to say upfront, full disclosure, this is a list for my bar. And this is based on the fact that I like to build old classic cocktails. These are the drinks that I enjoy. That's not to say that there aren't bottles that I would eventually go pick up because I want to have them behind my bar. But this is, if I'm just starting out, what I would do. Also, I want to point out that I am here in Chicago. What's available and the prices for those bottles are going to be different than pretty much anywhere else in the world. I am not sponsored by any of these brands. I'm also going to mix up a few different cocktails at each level so you get an idea of what you can make behind your bar. I am not throwing citrus or syrups into the list of things you have to have behind the bar. If you can't afford a couple lemons, then you probably shouldn't be buying $100 worth of booze. No judgment, just maybe eat. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more sips, tips, and I've been saying for more. Have you noticed that? Hit that like button for more sips, tips, and recipes. And I will bail you out with this list of budget bottles for your bar. Bye-bye. Actually, no, we're just getting started. Don't go anywhere. To the bar. So let's start with the $100 list. First things first, I had to get a whiskey, and I decided to go with rye whiskey. Specifically, Old Overholt. Old Overholt I find to be great value. Now it does come in a higher proof bottle, but that is slightly more money. And again, I'm really trying to stay under that $100 budget. I've used Old Overholt a number of times. He's a fine gentleman and makes a good whiskey. I don't really like the red cap though. That's fairly new. I thought it was a black cap. I don't know why the red cap. I got this one for right around $20. It's a 750 milliliters. I wanted a decent sized bottle because this is gonna be the base of a number of my cocktails. I am using rye whiskey because this is most seen in classic cocktail recipes. Of course, you don't have to get rye. If you're a big bourbon fan, get bourbon. Evan Williams Black Label is a good value. If you want something a little bit higher proof than the white label, let's see, Scotch whiskey, Famous Grouse, that's a good one. See, there are options. And if you want, you can have multiple whiskeys. But when you're trying to kind of reach across the spectrum of cocktails, it's best to just stick with one bottle, I thought, to stay in the budget. So, rye whiskey, check. Next up, we have gin. Gin, this is a fun one. I haven't had this one on the channel, but I went with Gordon's London Dry. This is value in a bottle. I found it on the bottom shelf. Don't necessarily be scared of the bottom shelf of your liquor aisle. Don't spend all of your time down there, but there are bargains to be had. Gordon's is one of them. Another cheaper option that I like is Beefeater, but Beefeater is actually, here in Chicago, considerably more than Gordon's. Also, I want to point out that this bottle is 40% ABV, and that's here in the United States. But I read that in the UK or Europe, it's a little lower proof. This came in right around $14 with tax. That's bang for your buck. Next, rum. I love rum. And one thing I love about rum is there is real value in it. So I actually went as cheap as I could with the rum and still be quality. Don Q Gold, I really think is great value. $13 after tax. It's a light Spanish style rum, great in a daiquiri, great in any number of easy drinking rum drinks. Do whatever you want. There's a lot of bargains to be found in the rum world. I mean, you can spend a lot of money too if you want, but you don't have to. Now, you might look at this and say, well, what about tequila? What about vodka? What about brandy? I agree, these are all wonderful things. But you see, I'm having to really rein it in here, and I'm not just gonna pick all base spirits. I need some modifiers. I need something to work with. So I decided to break it up, have 3 bottles as my base spirit, and then bring in some modifiers. Dry vermouth. I'm gonna mispronounce this. Noy Pratt. Noy Pratt. It does look like Noily. All right, you can all yell at me in the comments down below, but it's a great vermouth. Now, what you see that I've done here is I went with the smaller bottle. I do this even if I'm not on a budget. Vermouth doesn't last forever. Once you crack it open, keep it in your fridge. You all should know this by now. Unless you're new to the channel, then keep your vermouths in the fridge. This is, I believe, the original dry vermouth from France. Extremely affordable. After tax, I ended up paying right around $7. It's pretty good. All right, so as you can guess, my next bottle is gonna be sweet vermouth. But this might surprise you because the bottle that I'm grabbing is a 750 milliliter bottle of sweet vermouth. Cinzano. Don't tell me it's Cinzano. I think it's Cinzano. This is actually, I think, a tremendous value. After tax came in right around 10. If I'm going to have a bottle that is a 750 milliliter bottle of vermouth, I would tend to go towards the sweet because I do use sweet vermouth more than I use dry vermouth. That's just based on the cocktails that I make. So now I still have a little bit money left and I ended up buying 2 bottles of bitters. Number 1 was Angostura Aromatic Bitters. Not because this is a budget bottle. It certainly isn't. This is one of the most expensive bottles we have here. This came in at 13 bucks for 4 ounces. That's pretty expensive, but it is the classic cocktail bitters. It's my crutch if I ever want a okay cocktail to taste great. All right, the other bitters I went with is orange bitters, and I grabbed Regan's orange bitters. Cheaper than the Angostura. A lot of old classic cocktails call for the orange bitters, so I wanted it on the list, and I had room on the list. Now, all of these came in at $91.92. These are a couple different liquor stores here, so I was smart shopping. So we've got a few bucks left over. Go grab some citrus and some sugar to make syrups, which FYI, if you are on a budget, I highly recommend making your own syrups. Ounce for ounce, you can't beat homemade syrup. Also grenadine. If you're on a budget, nothing beats homemade grenadine. It's not that difficult to make. It is incredibly good. You will make tubs of it for way less than small bottles of store-bought grenadine, and you can freeze it. Stuff will last forever. It makes your cocktails wonderful. On to level 2, the $200 limit. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Thanks to today's sponsor, Shaker and Spoon. Shaker and Spoon is a monthly cocktail subscription. All you have to do is supply the booze and they cover everything else. Every month you get a new box that's catered to a new spirit, and inside you will find 3 original recipes that are gonna be 3 original cocktails. Inside this box are 3 recipes catered to añejo tequila. This is a spritz bottle. Where do you even get a bottle this small? Citrus, all kinds of syrups, and recipes. All right, we have 3 recipes: Feather Billet, Tijuana Brass, and The Beat Goes On. I'm going with the Feather Billet. I want to shake and drink. Add the tequila, syrup, lime juice, bitters to a shaker. Fill ice. Okay, let's start with tequila. Rose syrup. Smells good. 1 dash not drop chocolate mole bitters. 1 dash. Lime wheel garnish. Ta-da! That was easy. Let's see if it's any good. Cheers. Ooh, love the mole in there. Well, this is gonna go down really easy, and then I'll probably jump over and try the other 2 drinks. Use my link down below or the code Anders at checkout, and you will receive $20 off your first box at Shaker and Spoon. Thank you, Shaker and Spoon. Back to the video. Thank you, Anders. Now, the $200 limit. If you had a budget of $200, you could go about this a number of different ways. One is you could get these spirits, but the higher end versions of them. So just this list, but spend more money. I'm not gonna do that. I am going to expand upon this list. I'm gonna get a few more bottles so I can make a few more cocktails. Actually, you can make a lot more cocktails. Options. The spice of life. First thing I had to get, because I really kind of wanted it in this list, but it didn't fit, was brandy, specifically cognac. I got Maison Rouge VS. Normally, I use Maison Rouge VSOP. That bottle is tremendous value. It's only a couple dollars more than the VS. However, I am on a budget. Also, the liquor store, both liquor stores did not have the VSOP in stock. So that made my decision very easy. You can use any brandy, but a lot of the classics are gonna call for cognac. I also like making New Orleans cocktails, and cognac just works the best in those drinks. This came in right around $26 with tax. All right, next, back to modifiers. What we're gonna do here is we need an orange liqueur. Orange liqueur is a very interesting category because you have your triple sec and you have your curaçaos. And this is for another time. We will do a video talking about orange liqueurs. Also, I'm always trying to come up with content, and I think that that would be a fun video, so we'll probably do that some point in the future. I don't know how far in the future. This might be 2 years in the future. You're gonna have to watch every week until that happens. There are some very affordable triple secs. There's some affordable triple secs that I think don't taste great. I think there are some affordable triple secs that are very good. So you could do that. I decided to take this in a different direction. This is another one I'm gonna mispronounce. Mathilde. I wanna say Matilda, but it's not an A. So Mathilde, it's the XO orange liqueur, which is gonna be in the Curacao style, slightly richer, good on its own if you want a little nip of orange liqueur. Actually, the smaller bottles are typically not as good a value as the larger bottles. I think if you were to find this stuff in a liter bottle, it'd probably ounce for ounce be cheaper than this little bottle. This cost right around $16 for a really good orange liqueur. That's not bad. Next, we have Campari. Campari is classic, called for in a number of cocktails like the Negroni, Boulevardier, Old Pal. Fun to work with. This offers some bitter notes, also has a sweetness up front, and it comes in a smaller bottle because this can also be expensive. Let's see, I ended up paying right around $22. Next thing I bought was Benedictine, and I was really excited about this one. The small bottle, a small bottle. This is a small bottle. I was really happy to see this. I usually go for the larger bottle. It's shelf stable. I have a YouTube channel. I make a lot of cocktails. It's great in drinks. The last video we did had 2 martini riffs with Benedictine, and they were so good. Yeah, check out that video. It was, boy, that was a good one. This one was a little bit more expensive. $27 for a half bottle. I was tempted to go for a small bottle of chartreuse, but I'm sure wherever you are, that stuff is super expensive. And here in Chicago, it is non-existent. Yeah, there's a chartreuse shortage here. I don't know what we did to piss off the monks, but we should repent. Finally, last but certainly not least, we went with another aromatic bitters. Peychaud's aromatic bitters. That's right. Because I like it and it's my list and I'm making cocktails for me. Actually, it's called for in a lot of New Orleans cocktails, and this bottle came in right around $5. So I mean, this $100 chunk here actually came in at $99.52. I feel like we need some kind of graphic, like I really nailed it. Altogether, came in at $191.44. That gives us $8.56 to go buy some limes. Now, this is the fun part. All right, I'm gonna see what sort of cocktails we can come up with just these bottles here. No other spirits included, just citrus and sugar. And then we're going to see what I can come up with all of these. I'm not gonna go into depth here. I will leave the recipes though, either down below in the description, or maybe we'll do like a screen thing. So if you want, you can stop and look at it. All right, so for the $100, let's get set up. I'm gonna go with 5 because I have 3 clean shaking tins and 2 mixing glasses. We're gonna include all of these bottles one way or another. I've got 2 syrups here. This is my semi-rich simple syrup, 1.5 to 1, and grenadine, homemade. I also have lemon and lime juice. Manhattan, that's an easy one. Work and clean, clean and work and clean. Get a good seal. Ta-da! We've got daiquiri, Queen's Park Hotel Super Cocktail, Scofflaw, Manhattan, Martini. No garnishes because I'm just gonna move on to the next ones, but I will leave recipes with the garnishes down below or on the screen or wherever I decide to place them. Next. Yeah. Ooh, not bad for $100. Now, on to the $200 tier. Let's see what we can make. First thing to catch my eye is the Campari. Where's my jigger? Oh, right here. We have eggs? We have eggs. Oh, good. For a second, I thought it might be salt. Again, doing no real garnishes. So For the $200 level, these are just a few. What I ended up doing here is the Sidecar, the White Lady, 12 Mile Limit, Negroni, and the Vicaré. How many cocktails is this? 10. We just made 10 cocktails with bottles that we got on a $200 budget. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many drinks that you can make. Now, of course, you should cater this list to your liking. If you want to make margaritas, you aren't gonna find tequila here. So have tequila on your list. And the same thing goes with other spirits. I do have videos that go in depth on most of these cocktails, so go check them out. I'll leave a link down below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Shaker and Spoon, for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you next time. Cheers.